Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, back for another Metaphysical Mocha Monday, inspiring messages to get you ready for the week ahead. How you guys doing today? I got a little bit of a late start. We're a little bit snowed in here in Seattle, so my Wi-Fi was giving me a little bit of a trouble as far as actually getting on for today's show. So I'm a few minutes late. I do apologize. Give it just a quick second for everybody. It looks like we're building our audience here. One of the things hanging out with me every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Intuitive Prospector page is coffee. Got to have coffee, got to have tea. It's Metaphysical Mocha Mondays with Marc. So today I'm going to be talking about a few things. Going to be talking about my recent article, talking about what you need to know about the rule of three and how the rule of three actually applies to this year, specifically in a universal year of 2019. So it looks like there's some people coming on board. Good morning to you. Just give some shout outs. Morning, Michelle. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Rose. Good morning, Lori. Nora, hi, how are you? Karen, Yolanda, Gail, Rod, Misty. Let's see here. Rich, good morning. Tamika, good morning. Mike, how are you? Misty, so good morning. My mom's watching. Donetta, so awesome. Okay, so we got a couple people on board watching today, so I'm not by myself, so I at least got a little bit of an audience. So you never know when you do Metaphysical Mocha Mondays or any kind of Facebook Live what kind of interactions you're going to give. But I've been doing this for about 2 seasons. This is the second season of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. It's my way of giving back. It's my way of connecting. It's my way of bringing inspiration, joy, happiness, positive vibration, positive living, positive tips every week to get you ready on the week ahead, because we found that Monday is probably one of the lowest vibration days because a lot of us are going back to work. A lot of us are getting back to the grind. So that's why I chose to have it on the mornings, Metaphysical Mocha Monday, just to get you ready for the week ahead. So today we're going to be talking about 2019. So I'm a numerologist. I study numbers. I'm fascinated with numbers. And 2019, if you work with numerology, 2019, just take the number 2019, add that up, it's going to put you into a 3-year. So 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 9 is 12. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. So we're in what's called the 3-year. 2019 is the year of the 3. Now, what does that mean for those of you that don't follow numerology like myself or study numerology? What that means is it's a year of balance, mind, body, spirit, the 3. But it's also a year of creative, expressive energy. And I'll get into a little bit more of what happened back in 2010, which was our last 3-year, if you will, what took place in 2010. So just take a second, go back to the year 2010. Where were you? What was going on? I was just starting my job in the federal government. In 2010, I just had gone to my very first workshop with Lisa Williams, who's a well-known famous psychic medium down in Dallas, Texas, that I had a profound experience with the spirit world. I actually get to see my uncle and my cousin with my own eyes down in Dallas, Texas. So that's kind of where I was at in 2010. So just take a second just to think about where you were in 2010, what kind of year that was for you. Was it a good year? Was it a not so good year? And 2019 is going to be a year about big expression. It's about creative energy. So if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're an inspirer, this is the year to really step out and step into who you are and express what you want to do in this, what we call a universal year, because it's the year of the 3. So the last time, like I said, that we were in the year of the 3 was 2010. And you may remember 2010 because that's where social media, and I'm talking to you today on social media via Facebook Live and my YouTube channel. So in 2010, that's where social media really started to take off. That's where you had social media platforms that started to connect people to people all around the world. Sites like Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, LinkedIn was really starting to grow as far as a new way of trying to find a career or a job through the online platform. Pinterest for creative ideas and recipes. Google Plus, and of course YouTube. And so when I wrote my newsletter, I'm going to go ahead and put my my latest article that's featured this month. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the comment section for you guys to have if you're interested and want to read more, because I won't be able to get to the whole article today. But there's an article right now that I just posted called "What You Need to Know About the Rule of 3." And if you guys if you don't mind, would you be so kind to share out the page? That would be fantastic. Share to a page that, where people might, resonate with this message. And if you do that at the end of the month, for all my new YouTube subscribers and anybody that helps me share out the page, you'll be entered into a 30-minute reading with me at the end of the month, and I send you a private message that you've won the free reading. So, and if you like what I'm doing in a way of connecting with you guys and giving inspiring messages for the week, make sure to go to my Intuitive Prospector page, like it, turn on the notifications, and make sure to leave a review of what you thought. I've got about 20 people that have left a review. I'm just really just trying to engage people and get people connected and inspired and working together collectively versus being on separate different sides of the spectrum and creating chaos. So I've gone ahead and put in that link. What you need to know about the rule of three. That's today's message on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. And for those of you that are watching right now, to get the inspirational message at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be back for the Prospecting Q&A after show. That's where I have a direct conversation with you. We have spiritual chats. You may have a question for me, a reading. You may also, we may do mediumship where I have a loved one that is coming through. And if that's the case, then I'll bring you on Facebook Live video because I like to do mediumship, actually talking to the person and let me know the yeses or the nos, or I'm not sure, so I can make sure to be a good representation or ambassador of the spirit world. So let's just take a breath. Let's get into the magic of the moment. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, and today we're talking about what you need to know about the rule of three and why the rule of three is going to play an important part this year in 2019, because 2019 is, in numerology, known as the year of the three, a very self-expressive, creative type of energy. Now, one of the things that's interesting to me when I was doing my article, and the article is in the links now, the education, the knowledge, and the wisdom of the number three. And I even did my prediction on the Super Bowl based on the number three, and it turned out kind of interesting. So let me share that with you real quick. So this year was Super Bowl 53. So there was a 3 after the L, which stands in Roman numerals, 53. Patriots versus the Rams. And what I did is I've been asked to do prediction on Super Bowls the last few years. I've been featured in the Huffington Post a few times, also for the Game of Thrones ending, who would die in Game of Thrones. So kind of fun. So this year I looked at really the power of the three. How would the three intertwine into the Super Bowl? Now, just for clarity, the spirit world doesn't care about lotteries. It doesn't care about predictive, type of who's going to win the Super Bowl and betting. I usually don't do very well when it comes to that. And just to let you know, the spirit world doesn't care about that. I do it for fun because a lot of the prediction work that I do, whether I'm working with psychic investigations, missing persons, it's not always great predictive work. So this is my way of actually doing predictive work that's fun. So that's why I do who would win the Super Bowl. So I had predicted that the Patriots would win, just based on some of the numerology background, had their record, their how they had played the season compared to the Rams. A lot of people had the Rams favored because the Rams actually had the better season. But of course you have Tom Brady, what we would now recall the GOAT, the greatest of all time. But what I did is I looked at Super Bowl 53, how would the three play into the Super Bowl? And then I also said that the difference would be a difference in points based on the three. So I predicted the Patriots to win by 12 points, or a difference of 3. And what's interesting about this, guys, is the final score was 13 Patriots. So the Patriots won, if you don't follow football or the Super Bowl. The Patriots won 13-3. So you have threes popping up all over the place. 1-13, they ended with the 3 the Patriots did. 3 for for the Rams, which was the lowest scoring in Super Bowl history to have only 3 points, and it was Super Bowl 53. Now, granted, I missed my prediction by 2 points because I predicted a 12-point win. They only won by 10 points. However, they did miss a field goal during that game. So it's just, when you can take numbers and you can take your own intuition, which I call the language of the soul, and you can apply it to modern day life and what's going on in your experiences and your relationships, it becomes quite interesting how you can start to see the world in a different way. And I always go back to what Dr. Wayne Dyer talked about all the time. When you start to look at the things differently, the things that you look at start to change, and it really is about your own perception. So what with the work that I do, because I see the world as a medium, as a different place. I see two worlds, and I see the worlds interacting, and I see numbers, and I see just different ways of working outside of our known five senses. It doesn't have to be anything weird. And once we move into the outside the five senses, people say, oh, that's woo woo, or that's psychic, or then you can bring religion into it, and then you're not supposed to be talking to a psychic or medium. So it can just get real clunky. And I'm not that type of guy. My work as a spiritual teacher, as a metaphysical teacher, as a student of life, is to just share my experiences with you. And if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. I want to say thank you for hanging out. If I can inspire you and help change your life, or help change a life in any way, that's why I do what I do as a light worker. So again, thanks for hanging out with me today. Want to give you some of the education, knowledge, and wisdom of the three. So if any of you resonate with the number three, go ahead and throw up a few hearts or a few likes if you want. If the three is your number, if you don't know, the way that you can find out if you're a life path 3 in numerology is just take your full date of birth. So, for example, my full date of birth is 4/21/1972. So when you add all those up, it comes to a double-digit number, and then you break it down into a single digit with numerology. So I'm a life path 8, which is known as a business kind of minded leader and entrepreneur type of energy. But the 3 is expressive, it's creative, and this year is going to be a year again where we may actually see some sort of new connection. Just like we saw with the social media platform in 2019, we may start to see a new evolved way of connecting people with all people all around the planet, and maybe even beyond. 2019 may also be the year that we actually discover life outside of our planet. We have first contact. We create a new way of space travel. I mean, the ideas and the concepts are all out there, just waiting for us to connect and really bring that into our reality. And so when the 3 is relevant, like I said, it's a self-expressive creative energy. It's a creative number, and it's an excellent time for creating your reality. But we must be disciplined, protective, and aware of any negative thoughts, actions, and beliefs that will take us away from the 2019 creative frequency that is available to all of us for the next, 10 months, because we're already into February, right? So I always like to say that the universe doesn't think in terms of language. It thinks in the terms of frequency. So when you can start to think about energy, frequency, vibration, and of course communications, and apply those to your path, things really do start to change for you. And I'm a perfect example of how my life changed when based on my studies of metaphysics and my connection to the spirit world and those that are no longer here. So it's been an interesting journey, and like I said, I really look at I look at the year ahead. I look at what type of energy it's going to be from a number standpoint, because numbers surrounds us all the time. Computers, behind the scenes, 101, how you write code is based on numbers. The universal language for everything is mathematics. We're the only species that measures our life by time, based on a wheel that goes around in a 12-hour day and a 24-hour period in a 365 calendar. So it's always been kind of interesting when it comes to numerology. So again, just here's some things that the 3 really can tie into everyday life. 3 wise men, 3 blind mice, 3 strikes and you're out, the 3 wise monkeys, the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. My favorite book, The Lion, the Witch, the Wardrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia, if you will. 3 little pigs, 3 coins in a fountain. In sports, in hockey, we call it a hat trick. Somebody that's had a little bit too much alcohol to drink, we call them 3 sheets to the wind. If you're in trouble, you may be getting the 3rd degree. There's 3 score and 10, famous speech. Back in medieval times, they used to say hung, drawn, and quartered. Rain, hail, or shine. 3 trimesters in a pregnancy. 3 parts of an atom. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Ready, aim, fire, paper, rock, scissors. On your mark, get set, go. Plants, animals, minerals. The 3 great pyramids of Giza. 3 parts of an arm. 3 parts of a leg. 3 parts of the fingers or toes. 3 layers of teeth. 3 layers of the eye. 3 layers in plants. The earth, the sun, the moon. You guys are kind of with me. All the things come in 3s. Waxing, full, and waning moon. When the moon is waxing, full, and waning. 3 hearts of creation. Earth heart, humanity's heart, galactic heart. Intention, light and matter. Energy, frequency and vibration. body, mind, and spirit. One of my favorites is energy, frequency, vibration, because that's a quote related to Nikola Tesla that told us if we want to start to unlock and see the secrets of the universe, then think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. One of my other favorites is as above, so below, so within. On the spiritual journey. So those are just a few of the things that I just shared with you today. I always say pay attention to the seasons and cycles of the external world. It does have an effect on your internal world. So the moon, which creates tides, creates ocean currents based on that gravitational pull of the water. We're 65%, made of water. We have to have water as a human species. So it does have some effect on us. In science and statistics would show that. I used to work in emergency medicine. We know on a full moon, we know that there would be more car accidents. We know that there would be more births. We would actually see a spike. And, anybody that's a firefighter or first responder all around the world, they pay attention to the full moon cycle. A lot of them do. Not everybody, but a lot of them do. And then I also, as a firefighter, retired firefighter, I would see things come in threes. 3 fires, 3 car accidents, 3 deaths. It was an interesting trend. And, this was, long before I got into my spiritual path, my spiritual work. But the power of 3, or the rule of 3, can be found in so many different areas of our lives around the planet, from the human body to science, to sports, to religions, to books, movies, poems, nature, etc. And once we become aware of the number 3 frequencies and the potentials in life, it will not only strengthen and improve the spiritual walk, but it will just allow you to see just how much the power of the 3, especially in 2019 for the next 10 months, will be very prevalent. Like I said, I related that to the Super Bowl 53. The final score was 13-3. Tom Brady went to win on his 6th Super Bowl, which is, you divided by 2 is 3. I mean, you could go on and on. There's a movie about the number 23 that starred Jim Carrey. Now, that's Hollywood, and I'm not a big, I don't always support the Hollywood films because they usually take it way past where they need to go on accuracy and create entertainment. But there's just so many ways that the 3 plays into life. So if you're paying attention to the number 3, like I said, it's really a year for choosing to create your own reality, to control your own responses to happy or sad response. You're always in control of that, and just pay attention for the next 10 months to the power of the 3, the universal year, 2019's year of the 3, and what we need to know about the rule of 3. So I thought I'd just share that with you this morning. I want to get you your totem animal spirit for the week, your crystal for the week, and your numerology number for the week. So the numerology number for the week, and what I like to do is just give you things to think about. Think outside the box, tools for the spiritual toolbox, if you will, and just, awareness is your greatest agent of change. Eckhart Tolle teaches us that. So your intuition, your awareness, paying attention to numbers, what I call sign, symbol, synergy, synchronistic events. So today is physical activity. I do know that it's backwards on the camera. I haven't figured out how to switch the mirror yet so you can actually see it straight on, but it's called physical activity, and it's got a 6 and a 7. So this is interesting because, again, we were just talking about 3s. I randomly pull the card. I meditate on what I'm going to speak the morning of. So we picked a 67, so pay attention to the 6, which is about self-love. Pay attention to the 7, which is about spiritual curiosity and truth. Together they make up 13, which, again, is another 13 number. So pay attention to that. Physical activity, the 6, self-love, 7, truth. Together makes 13. And the 13 gets a bad rap, Friday the 13th, but actually it's not really that bad of a number. So physical activity. Your totem animal spirit for this week is the swallow. I've been seeing a lot of birds lately. I got a lot of crows around here, but I see a lot of birds. And when the swallow, if you're in that part of the country where you have swallows, and most places around the country do have swallows, it might be that you're very caught up in mundane aspects of life and need to step back and gain some perspective. So I'm going to be doing that because we've been snowed in for the last 3 days. We've got about, in Seattle, I'm looking at my truck that has about 10 inches, 8 to 10 inches on the ground, which is a lot, which literally shuts the city of Seattle down if we get more than an inch with more snow on the way. So I'm hoping to get caught up, not get caught up in the mundane cabin fever of being in the house for a few days, but really just step out and step back and gain some perspective of what's going on. It's also talking about your home with the swallow, how it's well protected from pests and intruders, and it's time to let go and move on rather than continuing to rehash old issues and wounds from the past. So that's the swallow for today. Like I said, physical activity. So get some physical activity. Pay attention to the swallow. And today's crystal for the week, if you follow crystals at all, you may not. I do. Today I'm wearing my blue agate. And you can see here my blue agate, which I wear over my heart, and a bloodstone. So, when you work with crystals, it can also really help you enhance your creative, expressive self. So this week is the obsidian. It's called Apache Tear, and it's a pretty common stone. Again, it's the obsidian stone, so it's a very grounding earth stone. But this one is called the Apache Tear, and it's black obsidian, but it's very gentle in its effect. It still it may bring up negative energy for you. But if you've got negative energy all around you, then the obsidian is really good at absorbing, reducing that negative energy that might be around you. So if you're familiar with black obsidian, this one is called Apache Tear. It's usually black. It's usually small and often smooth. Might look like it's water worn, but what it does is it's just an absorber. I always think of it like a crystal, like a sponge that will absorb negative energy that's around you. So physical activity, 67 is the number. The swallow is your bird totem animal for this week, and then the obsidian called the Apache Tear is your crystal for the week. I'm going to be signing off here just so I can come back for the Prospecting Q&A after show, which will start here in about 1 minute. So if you want to stick around on the Intuitive Prospector page, like I said, make sure to, if you touch the screen, you can get on my YouTube playlist, which has over 200 videos now of Inspired Living Radio, 4 seasons of Inspired Living Radio podcast, Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, diving adventures, cave diving, hiking, waterfalls, what I call soul adventures. So make sure to get on my playlist for YouTube. The link is in the description field, so you just touch on this and I'll put it in the comment section as well. Again, thank you for sharing out and hanging out with me today on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. Make sure to review my page if you like what I'm doing, so I can, sometimes I don't get feedback, so it's nice to get feedback just to make sure that we're, at least reaching somebody and making a difference in a person's life. I do have some events coming up in March and April, so just go to marclainhart.com. You can internet search the Intuitive Prospector to see all the upcoming events that I have going on in 2019, Forest Friday hikes, CPR community training classes, some demonstrations in mediumship. So it's going to be a very busy, fun year in expressive creative as well. Just want to say thank you for hanging out with me. Check out the article, What You Need to Know About the Rule of Three. See if that plays a part in your life and if it has any significance. And I will be back next Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern. You can also catch me this Wisdom Wednesday through the internet, my radio show called Inspired Living Radio. I'm going to have another fantastic guest. We've had fantastic guests all throughout the month. The next show is going to be no different. And I can tell you that we have 2 AFC tutors coming on in 2 weeks to talk about their new book, which I don't want to give that away, so you have to tune into that. But that's in 2 weeks. 2 AFC tutors are going to be on Inspired Living Radio. Just go through the internet, type in Inspired Living Radio. It is our internet-based show. You can listen to it from anywhere around the world. No password, no username, none of that crap. And then it goes to a podcast on YouTube, iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Podbean. And I've got my favorite shows at marclainhart.com. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Have a great week. Be kind, be caring, be compassionate until our next soul adventure together. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I'll be back here in about 30 seconds for the Prospecting Q&A after show. Have a great day, everybody. Namaste.